I'd like to bring this convening to a close with our most exciting session, the PI20 Moduloop Community Awards. So this is something that we began, I think 3 PIs ago, where we would recognize the folks who make some significant contributions and are active in our community. And that, believe it or not, has motivated a number of people in the community, as you'll see from the changing lists, to continue to contribute. So we do want to say a big thank you, and those efforts are appreciated. Some people in this room have swag you've never seen before. We do have the intention of giving out some swag to those active people. So and once swag comes, it's past and it's gone. So everybody got a little Moduloop wireless charger, but this one is like very prime swag. And if you miss it this PI, that's it. So before I go into that, I do want to give you, most of you have seen a version of this slide from time to time. Our community is quite huge, actually. The total number of people in our community collectively is 2,511, the total number of active people. Now, the definition of active is very dependent on the tool we use to collect these statistics, right? It could be anything from retweeting a Moduloop tweet, or starring a GitHub, or starting a GitHub repo, or joining a Slack channel. There are various ways we try and calculate this, but from a broader perspective, last quarter, our community was 2,111. This quarter, Q3, ending September, Megan? Yes, ending September this year, the total number of people in the community has grown to 2,500. So we're doing really well in terms of growth. A lot of people who join our community are brought in by you. I'll give you an example of Pedro, who I think you have 2 or 3 interns working on vNext. Yes, and we do see the stuff that they do on GitHub. A lot of it is credit to you as a community members being actively pulling others in. So we do want to acknowledge that, and thank you so much for that. Another effort I'll call out is, you'll notice we have some students from, I believe it's the University of Arusha. They reached out to Desire and say, we'd like to come to Zanzibar, but you don't have money. Desire sent them to Warren, and Warren smiled and says, yeah, sure, come along. So thanks to Warren and the Infitex team, the folks from the university students are here actively learning, and it's really great to have them. So Warren and team, thank you so much for that effort. And there are many others. Yeah. It's great. Of course, there's always the high people folks who are constantly flooding our dashboard with tweets. Sometimes it gets confusing to even pass through them. I know has left. Innocent has just left. But they do a lot of really great work. They started out in Uganda. I know they've been to Tanzania and they're coming to Kenya. So for the high people folks, a big round of applause for them as well. So this essentially tells us the most active people in our community, how they're spread out in our community. And the closer you are to my left side, the builders, those are like the core team who are actually contributing. That number has grown over the PI. I think we started with 7, we went to 11, it's now 17. So there are more, this is an indicator of more and more people getting engaged, not just in actively contributing code, but even taking roles in leadership. We've got contributors. That number is not a bad number. From what we can see in our dashboard, a number of the people who moved from contributors actually went to the builder section. So we can see that there's growth, getting more people shuffling down these different levels. We've got participants at 70, explorers at 106, and those who are not yet showing up in our level system, 78. So we will release a metrics report. We have a metrics report where these go into detail, so everybody will get a copy of that. So you'll be able to see the analysis there. I do want to give you a quick update on the Mojo Loop training program. This is one of the best performing properties at the foundation. End of Q3, we had a total of 107 users active in Q3. The total number of users are 950 in Q3. The percentage is a 13% growth. We have 94 countries, which is incredible. I remember once Paula asking, saying, do we really have 94 countries? And we double checked, and yes, we do have people in 94 countries actively using the Mojo Loop training program. You can see all the courses that are listed there and the completion rates and the enrollment rates. And one of the updates that you'll know in Q2, we migrated the platform to a newer version of Mojo Loop, of the training program, Moodle, sorry, and it's working out great. If you haven't been on it, you really should check it out. It's incredible. Course activity in, as you can see the numbers there, we've had a huge leap from between August, in the month of August. I believe that was when, Sam, you were in Uganda? Oh, I was in September. Okay, so there's a number of new registrants growing from quarter to quarter. You can see the graph there. The enrollments per course, don't worry, this is also included in the metrics report, so you'll have a chance to pour through them. And if you need any stats, just send me an email. We're happy to get you that information. And there's a little map that shows you where there's the highest activity. A lot of activity is happening in Myanmar, in Tanzania, where we have active engagement. So I believe that's mostly the FitSoWorks folks, some of the TIPS folks. It's actually very, very encouraging. I'm expecting Rwanda will be a blue dot, a deeper blue dot in the next couple of weeks. So there's lots of engagement. If you haven't taken the Mojo Loop training program, I highly recommend you do. And whenever you engage with new people who want to learn and understand the community, this is the best resource to do so. So just send them to learn.mojoloop.io. Everything is there. There are a couple of new courses coming up. We've got, you've had Steve reference a new executive series course that's possibly early next year, as well as Hub 204, DFSP 204, and possibly PISP courses. So we've got at least 4 new courses in the pipeline. Anyone is welcome at any point to contribute to them. So if you want to figure that out, Jane leads that work stream. So send an email to Jane or myself, we'll be able to figure that out. Right, awards time. We have 3 categories: 1, active community members; 2, new and promising community members; and 3, a special recognition category. This is sort of where I get to decide if I like you well enough to give you an award. So please learn to be nice to me. It might work out in your favor next PI. This is active community members. This is in recognition of community members who have actively contributed to the development of the Mojo Loop software, right? So the primary statistic we use for these stats are progressive conversations on Slack and activity on GitHub, primarily commits, issue discussions, that sort of a thing. Right. Megan, if you could please hold up the swag so that everybody can see. This is what our contributors are getting. It's actually really beautiful. So I will mention the list. Our most active contributor community member in Q3 of 2022 is actually here with us, and his name is Miguel de Barros. Miguel. Do you want to come up and yeah? Yay. Awesome. All right, excellent. You're welcome, Miguel. Right, the next after Miguel is Kevin Liao. Kevin's not here. Where is Kevin based? I actually don't know this information. Jamaica. Who can get him his bag? That's all right. We'll find a way of shipping it to him. But a big round of applause for Kevin. He came in second for the most. All right. The third person isn't here, but I think, Sam, you might be able to get him his bag. The third person, the third most active community member is Vijay Gutti. So, Sam, are you able to get the bag to him? Yeah, please come and pick one on his behalf. Yeah, just come and pick one. All right. Then, so those are the top three, Miguel, Kevin, and Vijay. So I will show you the official list again. The others are Sridevi Miriala, she was online somewhere. There's Pedro, who's here, Paul Baker, who's here, Sam Kumari, who's here, Yevhen, who isn't here, Michael Richards, who's here, and Godfrey Kutumelo, who's not here. A big round of applause for all these folks. So I'll call you guys one by one. Pedro's here. Pedro, you can come pick up your bag. Who can pick one for Sri? Sam, can you? She's in the US. Oh, Sam can't. Where in the US? Virginia. Okay. We know people in Virginia. All right. Paul Baker. Paul's here. Round of applause for Paul. As you can see, this list differs significantly from the last quarter. So you can see there's a lot of movement. Who's next? Sam. Sam, you can pick your bag now. A round of applause for Sam. All right. And following closely, Mr. Michael Richards. Again, this is limited edition swag. You will never see it again, ever. Excellent. All right. So Godfrey is in Pretoria. Who's closest to Pretoria? Oh, yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Jane. Where is Yevhen? Ukraine. Yeah, we'll figure that one out. Okay. Excellent. So to these folks, congratulations. Thank you so much on behalf of the Modular Foundation and the community. Thank you so much for your active contributions. To everybody else, pull up your socks. There's better swag next time. All right, let's go to new and promising community members. Recognizing new and promising community members who have engaged actively in the Moduloop ecosystem. So we'll start with, this is the lift. Gift Agboro, I think that's from DFS Lab, Rui Rocha, Elifraha Natal, Danish Jamal, Jake Kendall, Avik Ganguly, Jose Francisco Antunes, Sherwin from Busybee, who's in Philippines, I believe, Zibez, something like that, I'm not sure, and Joseph Benson Aruna from DFS Lab. A huge round of applause for these guys. Anybody know any of these guys? I know where Jake is in Paris. Anyone's in Paris, France? Nope. I'm not sure where Gift is. I'm not sure where John Benson is. Benson is in Nigeria. Anyone in Nigeria? Gift is also in Nigeria as well. All right. Oh, Rui, yes. Is Rui one of your interns? He is. So Rui is one of the people working on VNext, a big. So funny story. The second person that you work with, Gonzalo, is actually number 11. So I'm actually going to give a concession. Gonzalo is one of the folks who are contributing directly to VNext. So we'll give him a bag as well. So a round of applause for Gonzalo. No. We'll find a way of reaching each of these guys. At this point, I want to call Paula up for the special recognition.
Okay, so hopefully many of you walked the loop Monday. Yes, show of hands. I can't tell you how much coordination that took before Monday to make that happen, because we had to get the bank and Airtel, and we had to get cash, and we had to format printouts and all kinds of logistics and form teams and get team captains and train people how to use the whole thing. And none of this would have happened if it hadn't been for Desire. So Desire, please come up. And Desire has been a real workhorse for us, not only with that, but even in the preparation for this meeting, bringing stuff over from DAR, organizing the video and audio folks, and all kinds of swag. So thank you, Desire. Appreciate it.
Right, that about wraps it up. So be awesome. We will have awesome, way better swag next. I have an idea. Next quarter. I do want to end with a couple of notices and reminders. This is something all of us in the community should be paying attention to, keen attention to. So one is we are updating our PI schedule. We've typically had 4 program increments a year. We're now doing 3, just to give you guys a longer period of time to get more done within one PI. And including that, we will now have more formal mid-PI check-ins. All the mid-PI check-ins will be virtual. We've had some before, so there'll be a bit more structured this time. Watch out for that information. We will have 3 convenings a year, 2 of them in person, 1 of them virtual. So at the beginning of March 2023, we will have an in-person meeting. At the end of June 2023, we will have a virtual convening. And then at the end of October 2023, right about this time, we will have an in-person convening. Who can take a guess where the next March convening will be? Jen says Rwanda. So our next convening will take place in Kigali, Rwanda. So I hope you've made friends with some of our Rwandese folks. They're sitting at the back of the table there. So please get a chance to know them. It would be very embarrassing to show up in Kigali and it's like, hey, good to see you. And you're like, oh, hi. So do pay attention to that. We're giving you this information early enough because we would like you to plan. Now, it takes a lot to put together a hybrid convening. We may still have some of those in the future, maybe not, we're not sure yet, but I would encourage you all, as you're planning your travel budgets, please try and get most of your people in convenings in person. It would be really good to that way. Secondly, I want you to remember that it is currently election season for all the community governance groups. The email went out yesterday, most of you got it. This email requires you to do 2 things. 1, register to vote. You cannot vote if you do not register. 2, nominate or self-nominate for any of the 3 community governance groups, and I'll go through those in a second. Nomination will close, I believe that's next week, Friday, right? Yes, that's next week, Friday, 4th November. We'll take a few days after that to just confirm the slate of election period, whoever's going to be on the election slate. Then you will everyone who's registered will on Friday, 11th November, get an e-ballot. So that's unique to you. You can't vote for anybody else. You can't share the link to somebody else. That ballot will be unique to you. You will have about 4 days, roughly, including Friday through Tuesday, November 15th, to vote. After that, we'll take a week internally just to confirm everything and that all the protocols were met. And then on Monday, 21st of November, we will release a blog post and do a bit of socials announcing the members of each of the committees. Then Monday, 21st November through Friday, 2nd December, we will have the transition week. Now, these are the folks, the roles that you'll be electing. The community council, again, is a representative body of the entire community. There are 9 openings, so keep that in mind. The Design Authority, which is made up of workstream leads and 5 elected leaders. The 5 positions are open for election. And then the Change Control Board has 2 openings, the rapporteur or the chair, and the convener. So both of those 2 are open. So these are the people you'll be voting for. The link is in your inboxes. If it's not there, send me an email. I will get it to you. I cannot stress the importance of having you participate in that exercise. I think this week, some of you have realized the importance of the community governance groups. So they only work if you work, so please make them work. Once again, congratulations to everybody. I want to pass it to Paula to close us out.
All right, so I'm the only person between you and lunch. First of all, I just want to really thank you for all your hard work this week. I know we all burned the candle at both ends. There are a lot of hours, a lot of extracurricular meetings after we close for the day, a lot of breakfasts, and that's why we like to meet in person, because we can not only get a lot done during 9 to 5, but also on the edges of the convening. And so I do appreciate your stamina and willingness to contribute. As Simeon mentioned, we're compressing the schedule next year a little bit. Hopefully that makes it a little easier for you to participate in the face-to-face meetings. So important to have your energy here in the room with us. Delighted to see quite a few new participants this year or at this convening. And also really happy to see the different countries represented that are showing interest in Mojalo deployments. Rwanda is right around the corner next March. It'll happen sooner than we all think, because we'll go home and the holidays will disrupt our planning. But please do plan on joining us in Rwanda in March. I think, again, we'll see some great new participants and some progress across all fronts. So with that, I want to thank Simeon, who convened this, but I also want to thank Steve and Paul. We used to have the burden of the whole agenda on Simeon, and we finally realized that was a bit unfair. Steve did a great job of preparing a lot of business tracks for us earlier in the week. Paul, you did a fantastic job today and throughout the course of the week on the product focused and product roadmap sessions. So give Simeon and Paul and Steve a round of applause. And then just finally in closing, I applaud you all here in the room. Again, thanks for coming. Thanks for those that hung out on Zoom. I know it's not easy, but I look forward to seeing you again next year. Cheers.
No one leaves Zanzibar until Sunday. Have a fantastic, fun weekend. See you in Kigali.